Hello. We're going to interpret a very interesting clip, very meaningful clip from Madame Xuân Phượng, a very experienced person, have a long history, long life learning and experiencing. Yes. Okay, now we will interpret. Wow, very beautiful clip from Vietnamese to English. Today I will interpret in our group. Hello, welcome to Have a Sip. Which episode I don't remember, but the wonderful thing when I do have a sip is we can meet and talk with a character. You cannot imagine. In my hand I have a Gánh Gánh Gồng Gồng book, and we will meet Madame Xuân Phượng, the author of this book, right away to share about this today talk. We will experience a lot of emotions when we're talking about war. They are really fed up, always fighting, but they don't know the painful, the suffering in the war, and also the difficulty in peaceful life, how they can harmonize. It is an issue. If we don't understand the history, it cannot touch our heart. There is a really outstanding, a surprising thing, because when we meet them, she is not 93 years old. She experienced a lot of profession, is a war correspondent, right? When we can skip the safety and take a dangerous job. She is a writer to write the memory, the biography. So how we can share, inspire for the next generation. There's a good choice for us to write a book when the young people can read the book and understand about the past life. She's also the person specialized in creating the denominator keepnote. All of the things we share, we understand about the past life, the war of Vietnam. Just through one talk, we can understand. Now, I invite you to join our today's show. Today, share with Madame, with Master, with Miss Xuân Phượng. Hello, welcome to Have a Sip. Today a podcast, weekly podcast. I can interview a character, different character each week. They are just like the collection of the story. I'm very lucky to have a chance to talk with. And today you can realize that we have a different space, right? Background. Now we are in the Lotus Gallery in District 7, Ho Chi Minh City. Very large background and space. And here we can meet with the character. Can take a lot of the tear through the autobiography of her, just nearly 300 pages, but the heaviness, the value of the life transfer there. Let's hope that today we can share more deeply with her. Welcome Miss Xuân Phượng to join Have a Sip. I'm very happy today I can talk with you. I meet a lot of MC in my life. I make a lot of film. I interview a lot, but today I meet you. You are very graceful, and I'm so eager, anxious whether your answer the question is difficult, whether I can answer. But I also think that the one who asked me today full of willingness and friendly. So no need to scare. I know that your gallery here is very new, right? And in the center of District 1, the feeling of the center of the place that you built up from 1991. What is your feeling? At first, when I franchise and want to pass how to say, the experience for the younger partner. So the first picture coming from the gallery lotus, whoever far away from the children can understand my feeling. I was very worried. I didn't know whether those people can absorb, understand the picture and what they could do with that picture. But I am moved by their willingness, so I agreed to let them to do the gallery, and I'm so lucky to see my gallery become younger and more professional and larger, and the one who received the career from me, they are ready to do that path with more initiative, with more idea, and they are younger. So when you ask me, after 30 years in the career, going to retire totally, I feel so happy and very happy that I have a seat, have a chance to be here. We have the name of the show, Have a Seat, What Do You Drink? So before we come in here, you prepare a cup of tea, right? Yeah, I'm addicted to tea for dozens of years. This question is quite very typical. If we can see if the drink can tell something about you. So what does the tea can tell about you, about your personality? I think not through the tea, but also through lifestyle, through custom, through all of the things that made me until the age of 93. I think the most important thing is that what I can do in my mind, in my consciousness, in my life. And the second thing I love to follow is that in our life we just one chance to live. Even the millionaire, they just one chance to live. So in our life we try our best to do all the things we want to do. So you asked me through the tea to the hobby, I could share with you the whole life can follow two targets, two goals. Now, right behind your bag, I'm very thankful for your equip. Have a seat. Let's just see in the background that we just have one life, a treasure, and be grateful and try to live so that it is really worthy. Now, talking about your life, I'm very happy to have that book. If you never haven't seen that book, the book Gánh Gánh Gồng Gồng, you need to read this book. I know that it's the Vietnamese version of the book Áo Dài, right? And in the COVID days, and you're at home and rewrite, right? There's maybe some personal the advice your mother not really understand because you're far away from your parents from very young age, right? Because of the war separation. First, it's because of the personal advice, so that the mom and the family can understand about your life at that moment when the interaction among the generation really happened, right? When you wrote the book, do you have any thought that how the young people can look at this all of that event? Your question is really matched with my thinking, right? Because my family is quite the same with other family. We are the century in this that the family from the north and the south cannot meet, and because of the two different system of policy, right? Politics, and invisibly we have the separation. Even we don't want, right? I don't know about other families, but in my family, I'm very happy when we meet again. I have to say honest that I don't have the feeling of separation about my siblings and myself, right? Until the year of 1975, when I returned to Ho Chi Minh City. At that moment, it's named Saigon. I know that my house is in Indo Street, so at that moment I was a director and go with two cameramen. I visited the house of my sister Xuân Nhạc. At that moment, people left that very big house with a messy stuff around. There must be a really hurry leave, right? I asked the people around, the house of my parent, where is it? They shows the upstairs. So I went upstairs. I saw a picture of me at the age of 6 and put in the altar. And I saw that all of the luggage, clothes and photos as messages all around and family. So I knew that my family left Saigon in a very hurry way. And I went to the altar and understood at that moment that first my family thought that I was dead because in the north because of the war, right? Or that politics political system understand that the northern person follow, so they set up that background. I don't know, but I told with the parent under the altar, Dad and Mom, I return. I just share like this at this moment. At that moment, I was crying. Now we're waiting for the clip. And some cameraman, they from the north, they saw me. A lady left the family at the age of 16 and returned to family at the age of 50 or nearly 60 years old, having no one in family around. They saw me like that. They also burst to tears. So I will share with you the separation. The separation made us so painful. So when you ask me, who's the one who loved the peace? They are the people who suffer the separation during the war. They wish for the peace ultimately and from the deep of their hearts. Wow. Clip này rất là nhiều cảm xúc và rất là nhiều trải nghiệm. I had a chance to visit France, right? I met you right on the way I visit France. The young people from Vietnam who visit France, they live there quite long, and that this lasts until now. When they mentioned that they're from Vietnam, other people think that, oh, Vietnam just about the war. From my generation, I don't know about the war, but I am told by my grandfather. He also joined the army. But the next generation, they even don't know about the war, and also even the grandparents' generation who can share about the war, they not exist anymore. When they go abroad and when they share about Vietnam and that people mention about the war, then they know. So with them, war that's something so ancient. There's something they don't want to attach with their life, with the label Vietnamese, right? Well, when I read this book, I realized that I couldn't forget. I cannot forget. Even I need to memorize. But I don't know how to share that value to the young people when they don't have the direct or indirect contact with the war. So according to you, we just let it like that, or we need to create something to tell more about the war in Vietnam. And to share about this, I remember that I had 5 grandchildren. I also have 3 grandchildren. When I think that when I share about the past life, the past war, how our parents live like this when we sit with the meal, with a lot of meal of food, but before we just eat just some vegetables, some salt. They are quite, my children, grandchildren are quite normal with that. They don't understand why we didn't have rice to eat. They really didn't understand about that situation. but not only the children in my family, but also the children in other family, passing through 3 generations from the war. When mentioned about the war, they kind of fed up a lot of fighting, all of that story, but they didn't know the pain in the war, the suffering in the war, and also the difficulty in the peaceful life, how they can harmonize with each other. Is that the issue? If we don't understand about the history, we cannot touch the vibration in the heart. For sure, when we cannot have the touch in the heart, no word can persuade. And so when I wrote this book, I hoped that this is one part. First, for my mother to understand when I go like this, I went like this. It's not for doing the better, but because of that situation like that. And the second, to help the young people to understand there is one generation or even 2 generations, they are willing to sacrifice so that our life can return to the peace again. So according to me, my opinion, so how to help my next generation to understand? So the book is a very good idea. So so that when the young people read about the book, they have different consciousness, different awareness about that. Oh, so the life before is just like that. It's not like I think. I have a very family relative. He's very good at English, so I asked him to translate the cánh cổng vườn from Vietnamese book, from Vietnamese from English, right? He was very busy, right? A lot of more interesting things. But when he sit down and translate the book for me, after reading each page, I realized that his feeling was totally different. And recently, my relative, my family relative, worked in a film studio. The director there also sent a message for me. The young director shared with me, "Oh, your book is so moving. I read the book, I feel so touched. So my family relative also shared, I also feel so touched. So I think from this person to other person, from one student to other student, that is how we can spread the value of life, right? Not only me do the biography, but other also write the book about the life, right? So because the Vietnamese young people, they are very smart, smarter than us. So from that, we can teach for them and inspire and help them to understand and feel, touch about the suffering of the past generation and understand about the value of the hard days. I read this book and I was so surprised because you write really simply. I feel that each line has the story, and you have to cut and make it short. And when the story is valuable itself, the long sentence doesn't make sense. And one more interesting thing is that with the alcohol, everyone Vietnamese know alcohol, right? But how to let alcohol show up and in the book in a very personal perspective, when everyone is not still arranging the room and alcohol show up, right? It's very interesting. So your life is just like the history of the nation. Thousands of years, many people you have a chance to meet. We just read that name in the book, right? Somehow very magical. You can meet some people after like 50 or 60 years. Do I have any explanation for that? Here I have a story just for fun. That day in Lê Phụng Hiểu hostel, young lady going to deliver a baby, And so I take care of her with the husband riding the bicycle. After that, very hard is just wear the vest and the short pants. When going to the hospital, it's okay, but when they return from the hospital, we are stopped by the police men, right? They ask them, where are you going? We share that we are from the hospital, just taking the baby. And at that moment, the husband so hurry and just wear like that, and me, the customer, be a lot of the blood, right? At that moment, we are so confused, so we are arrested to the jail. And then after that, the chef of the police go to say sorry and let them out. You read about that, right? So the story about the baby born in the hospital, now. About 6 or 7 months ago, the two ladies stepped into my gallery in Nam Kỳ Khởi Nghĩa and told me I am the wife of Dũng. I didn't know who is Dũng. She said Dũng is the baby born in the hospital that day you arrested after you live in hospital. And so they share that. He shared that Dũng dad passed away. Now, on behalf of Dũng, I came here and say thank you for you, and to me it's really magical. I didn't know how that baby can return to me at that in that way. And also the babe, another story about the baby, 9 years old, and 40 years later, at the age of 49, when I going to leave from Vietnam, I met him. So all of that thing, I think that going to my mind. So I really remember. So I wrote in the book because it's really impressed in my mind, and I also see the circle, just like the circle of boomerang. When we throw the boomerang and it returns to us, right? So it's not the moral advice. When we do the good thing, we win. We have a lucky thing in life. That is experienced in my long life and very share honest by me. Don't do evil thing, because later the consequence will respond to us right after that, not wait to until the next life. So that is a lesson I can share with you. And also I would love to share another story, another thing. When you share like that, right away I think of the image of the philosophy, Trần Đức Thảo. 30 years after that, I met him in University of Sorbonne of Paris. When Philippe de Ville, a historian from France, introduced with people, this is a castle of science from Vietnam and returned to France, to us. So he go up the stage, and his custom is a very thick coat with the color of the mouse fur. At that moment, we are very poor. Every time we are going for business, we visited a warehouse with many types of coats, of custom, right? So we can borrow any custom we want. So he took a very thick coat, I think from World War II, right? So he went to the stage, and beside with a president of many professors in France. At that moment, people didn't pay attention about the coat, but to see the lights, the aura of the people, of the person, the wisdom person, share the story. At that moment, the people asked me, because I know the French, translate and explain what he shared. At first, I understand, but after that, I didn't understand what he shared. At first, he shared about Marxism and all of scientific thing. In 2 hours, unstopping, with the very fancy, wonderful French voice. And when people just clap their hand, at that moment, I thought of the sense when I visited him in Kim Liên in Hanoi in winter day. When we visited him and brings a little bit, a bit of rice. Put the rice in the pocket, and when we visit him, we put the rice out. You don't know about Hugo, right? It is a bottle of powder milk. At that moment, later they use that to put the powder milk, but in that poor day, they use that for the like the pan, the pot to cook. They have. We don't have the cook because so we because of very narrow house, so we have 3 bricks and put the butter and put the rice and the water there and cook the porridge, the rice for the ill, the sick dad lying in the house. We cannot forget that sins. That is the reason why everything, you can see that everything is in my mind so deeply. That's why I just present that in the page. When Mr. Trần Đức Thảo just really shared deeply about Marxist philosophy theory, in my mind, I saw the image of the smoke burning to cook the rice for the daddy, right? The porridge is just enough for cook. It's not very well cooked, and he feed his dad without porridge. If you present at that moment, you will not forget. So the all of the event in the book from the beginning to the finish, because it's going to my mind so deeply. But I am quite curious for sure that that event so impressive you cannot forget. But I believe that you have the ability to memorize how you pay attention into that event, because with the same event some people see that very clearly, but some people just like the passengers, right? I don't know for the whole long time how can you memorize, right? So with that book Cánh Cánh Gồng Gồng, it seems not very thick, but the heavy of the event, each line is the story, is the incident there. So how can you take note or memorize all of that things? Okay, I share the secret with you, okay? At the age when I study in a school in Đà Lạt, very lucky I got a teacher. She is a mother, a nun in the Christian, Mary Song-Tan. She taught us about French literature. She shared a sentence I really remember. The students, when you look and you need to realize, you never look but without realization. And she explained, for example, when you look at a flower, you see it's a very beautiful flower, but you need to realize that is from the effort of the gardener. Why the flowers is here, which color or which season, when the flower will fade, and see the thing, see deeply, realize deeply into that thing. So see and realize. In French vocabulary, they have 2 words, see and realize. In Vietnamese, we also have 2 words, right? Nhìn and thấy. With some incident, we just have a quick glance and see nothing. But with some incident, we see deeply and we realize something. For example, in some year when I took a camp and film in a school under the surface of the earth. Half of them is on the earth, half of them under the earth. And when the students go to school and they go into that tunnel, and at that year they don't have a ballpoint, just have the ink, and they put the pen to the ink and write. And the director, French director, share with the cameraman, hey, how you can film the student put the pen into the ink and write. But you see, but you didn't realize. You have to film so that the audience can see that it's not just a normal bottle of ink, not just a normal ballpoint or normal pen, but the material from the ink pot they take and write on the page to show the determination, to show the strong spirit, the bravery. Whatever happened, we will still continue to study. So ink is not just the ink, it's also the tool to demonstrate. It is from the heart, from the willing of the witnesser. So you can be a good cameraman. So you should always see and realize, not just see without realization. With see and realization, that will go deep into your mind, so that you will not forget. I also remember the detail because when you go together and do the film Vĩ Tuyến 17, the 17, right? So you also have the breakthrough, the turning point. So in your life, you have a lot of turning points. So when I asked about if we share about your life, we can take 3 days, 3 nights to listen to your life story, right? But among the turning points, have you ever looked back and you are really surprising that you took that kind of job? For example, you used to be a writer. Your books also have 2 important prizes from the Association of Writers. You made films, a lot of films about the world. You are the world correspondent. You also the doctor. You are one among 3 first women create the denominator, right? You also the translator, detonators, dipno. Among a lot of turning points. Which turning point make you really surprised when you look back? Yes, not only me, but my children, my husband, my friends also very surprised. The reason is, normally when they start the career, right, at the age of 30 or at the age of 35, and usually until that age they didn't dare to do other things. But to me, a very special case. We're waiting for the clip. Clip hay cho nên là nhiều quảng cáo. To me, with the teaching words from that nun from Đà Lạt, we live only once, only one chance to live. So at that year when I in Vĩnh Linh tunnel, when I wrote also in the book, when I took that baby from the mom, because when I hear the crying of the baby, I also hear the crying of the dad. A dad crying happily, welcome the baby, and the baby crying at the time he was born. Very lucky that at that moment the cameraman followed me, because we always work in team of through in that war time. Okay, so when we return our tunnel, the people still wait and ask me how was that. I didn't have time to answer, and that cameraman turned on the recorder, and you can imagine under the tunnel, very dark. Hear the sound of me shouting at the people, because I have to welcome the baby from the mom, right? And then hear the crying sound of the baby, and hear the happily crying sound from the dad, and we sit there and feel a lot of goosebumps. And the life is so beautiful under that poor tunnel, dark tunnel. Didn't know whether tomorrow we can live. Among the thin line between life and death, we hear the crying from the dad and from the baby. At that moment, the French director touched my shoulder and shared with me, with that profession like war correspondent can help us to witness a very beautiful moment in the thin life, the death and the life. Do you feel happy? At that moment I was overwhelmed with happiness, despite being hungry, being dangerous about tomorrow's life. At that moment still feeling happy. That moment, that feeling still follow me until the time I decided to change from the nursery, from being a doctor, from the Sofitel hotel. I was determined to change the job to become a war correspondent. I leave the safety zone, right? To change, to choose a very dangerous choice, right? But we just live one time in our life. So when you ask me about this question, I really think that this is very correct. My choice at that moment, when I can do what I really like, what I really love and feel necessary for me at that moment, and I can do that. For sure that I got the support from the family, because when I leave the career as the doctor at the clinic and become the war correspondent, right, my salary becomes zero. From the very high salary of the 7th level of officer, nearly the deputy minister, then my salary become very poor. So my family also affected and suffer, right? Not just because of the dangerous city of the career, but also the decrease of the salary, of the income. So when I changed the career like that, 95% of my friends say that, this lady, they think that I was mad because of the war. But I can share with you, when I do the film in the battle, a lot of suffering, a lot of hard working, but we also enjoy a lot of happiness and the proud. That is not just the power, the mental power, but I think that when we do the new career, new job, how we can learn the skill is really challenging. So you do have any tips about self-learned the skill? Because I remember that at that time in the school, it's just a very ABC learning. Then after that, I didn't know how you can self-learn all of that skills. I can share with you a sentence from our ancestor, right? Very useful, interesting. We learning from our friends is much more than we're learning from our teachers, okay? So when the director visited Vietnam, I was an interpreter, and by chance I just interpreted his words, like do something or zoom in or zoom out, and by chance I am the speaker for that director, and by chance I am the deputy director, right? Actually, I didn't understand about that film industry because I was the interpreter. I supported him several films in Laos, Cambodia and Vietnam, and so I also have some knowledge about that industry. So when she shared about the chủ nghĩa hiện thực in documentary, realisticalism, right? So I just interpret, and automatically I absorb that knowledge. So when we do the film, before 300 scenes, which scenes we choose, which one is near, which one is far, how to build the film, the montage, right? This is easy to film, but how to build that film? At that moment, we learn from the friends, right? From the better friends. Like I remember Mr. Bùi Định Hạc, someone very good with the music writer like Hoàng Vân, someone very good at literature like Chế Lan Viên. That those people, they help me a lot with the opinion, with the idea when I do the film. I also brainstorm, but I also rely from my friends. Okay, so when I get out of the industry with the salary of the apprentice, but after 3 years my salary is very high. I have ability that love learning, love the profession, right? That I can share with you the story why I love the profession. Long ago when I visited Trường Sơn at 5 p.m. I filmed the scenes with the forest in the fire, and I asked the cameraman to take the overview. But we cannot take the overview when I see the pile of the sand and sit on the pile of the sand and put the cameraman, we can see the overview. And then they shout me, hey, careful. When I look down, I see a lot of bones, the bones of the human just around that pile of sand, a pile of soil. So I hurriedly stepped down, and we took all of that soil back, because that is the tomb of the soldiers, the dead soldiers, and that tomb is eroded by the time. We stood on the tomb, on the bone of the people, the same nation we don't know. So with that sense, with that emotion, can you forget? Wow, so emotional. You cannot forget, right? So we need to see, so that we can have to realize something, so that we can feel. I share with you the story. I don't encourage you to do the war film, okay? Because that profession is really dangerous. I have a friend, when we mentioned about the ferry, Quang Ho ferry, I share with my driver, this is the Quang Ho ferry, but he didn't understand anything. That is just a normal ferry, but he didn't know that 40 years ago, 40 years or 45 years ago, Mr. Hui is a person in our film team, right? We film in Vinh and have to do the film in Hanoi, right? So the journey back to Hanoi, very dangerous because of the bomb, of the bullet. So how can we go? And then we pass the river by the ferry Quang Ho, and in the middle of the river we get the bomb from the US airplane, and the ferry become really unstable, and we took a risk, dangerous, of falling into the water. And Mr. Hui and one cameraman just hold the rolls of the film and lay down and protect the films. And when we save again, and the film is saved, but that person, that Hui, is a lot of blood in his person. And we return to the audio with the studio, with the we edit the film on the screen. You can see some scenes, and then we can see some black and white scenery, right? Mr. Ivan is a director, very experienced director in Spain. Realized that in the blood of Mr. Hui and that cameraman, that blood absorbed in that film. So we live in that moment. So my mind really think about that moment a lot and cannot forget. So when you ask again and again how you can remember, how you can write, I can mention with you the 5th or the 6th time, because it goes deeply into our mind, deep into my body, okay, deep into the consciousness. Rất là xúc động. You learn how to take over and see and face with the pain. How you can do that? Because too many pain. No one share with me that I like to take over the pain, because each pain is really unique. Each pain make me just going to die. It's not easy. But the first thing, maybe first I'm very busy. Most of the time when I start working, or when I do in a Lotus Gallery, I didn't have Saturday or Sunday. I just work, and I also find that in that working process, I have it can help to release, can help me to have a peaceful mind, right? Because in that empty moment without working, many things can occupy, right? So how we can take over the pain? We make us easy, okay? So we shouldn't be sit in the pain. We need to escape of the pain, right? So until when the pain is too much, it's too big, and make us like we need to do other thing and go together with the pain, just step by step. It's very hardworking for us. It's not that easy, but step by step, gradually we can escape from that misery with some. To me, that is a very positive way of healing or escaping the misery. I ask you this question because many people, many audience are listening to have received young people. I also record, have a look again with the comments. They share that for sure that the valley, the deep hole of each people, each person is very different. But I feel very honored to talk with a person like you, because can have more how to say, more realization about the deep hole. With some young people, they are very set with a small thing. It can create a deep hole, right? So how the young people can overtake that misery is very important. So when you see this story, the story is quite very different with your context, and we always know how to take over that painful if we can listen. Wow, hôm nay chúng ta dịch đến phần này thôi. Thank you. Clip rất là hay.